Well, it's nice here today, Phil.
Too true. Well, it's now we are at Lynch Hill Fishery on the Willow Pool. It's an all-season fishery, like, you know, but the main point is that it's got some very good carp here and good scenery. If you get a sunny day like this, so much the better.
Will you
Do me, mate.
Yeah. You drop in here?
Yeah, that'll
I'll
do.
go on up here a bit. Yeah, I'll drop in here.
Near enough. At least we'll be able to talk. It's certainly a day for it, isn't it?
Yeah, it's smashing. Looks promising. Oh, that's me done then, Phil.
Come and sit up here, mate.
Well, it's not quite as nice here as when we go down to France, though, is it?
He's anywhere as nice as France.
That's true. That's at Lake Cassien in the south of France. We've been there a few times, haven't we?
Now, think about it, 5 years ago we hadn't even heard of the damn place. And,
Just on 5 years now.
Yeah, it's
5
just on
years,
5,
April.
more or less to the, almost to the month. Next
that's
month
right.
it'll be it.
Yeah, 5 years May when we first went there. May '85.
Yeah. And completely green. And you kind of, you know, even today we can't really call ourselves carp fishermen. But, went down there, and fortunately the fish were about as green as we were.
I think they were.
Not now.
Not so much now. It was quite a good trip though, Phil, the first one.
Oh, wow. Well, I mean, you start off with a 40-pounder and then get another 50-pounder. Literally, first fish, 40-pound. There we were thinking, well, going by the reports we had heard, only a couple of people had been down there that we knew of. But, quite hard fishing. And we thought if we can get a 30, it'd be great. And 41 first fish. Your 53, 54?
54, that was our
Second
third
fish?
Third
Third
fish, I think. Third fish, that one. There was a 28 in between, wasn't there?
Yeah. Absolutely hectic. And the size of the fish over there, like, obviously it gets us there. And the way we do it, not too expensive.
Yeah, well, I think the next time we go down there will be trip 12. Don't think one trip's cost us much more than about £300, all told.
Yeah.
We've been a bit fortunate on all of our trips at Richworth Baits have helped us out a bit, kept the
Too
cost
true.
down for us, haven't they, like?
I think the fact you've got a tackle shop don't hurt.
Yeah, probably helps, but in the beginning when we first went down there in '85, we used quite a lot of boilers in those days, didn't we?
Bloody hell, didn't we just?
But we don't use so many these days, but we still think it's important to use quite a few. But anyway, to the costs, the £300 basically was made up of our ferry ticket, the green card for the insurance, which one needs to go on to the continent, the petrol to get down there, the tolls, That's one thing with the French roads, isn't it, with the tolls.
Well, I think it's about 100 quid, isn't it, on tolls?
There and back, yeah,
Yeah.
£100.
We don't realise how good we are using the up and down the M1 for nothing.
Yeah, yeah, that's true. And bait and food, and the ticket when we get there is 220 francs, so which is roughly, I think, about £22.
Yeah.
So if you add that all together, and if there's 3 of you going and you divide it between 3, usually we take a third person, don't we? It comes out at around about £900, which is, £300 each. We went wrong on the first trip, didn't we? We went overnight and neither of us could keep awake too well, so now we go, 7 or 8 o'clock in the morning, don't we? Which means that you arrive at Cassien 8 or 9 o'clock at night. It's about 12 hours all told from Dover. It's Calais. First stop from Calais is, or not such a stop, but it is a stop, is Paris, around the periphery.
Yeah, that's where you see all the French drivers, isn't it?
Well, it's something different. It's something different, that's for certain. I suppose you could liken it to the centre of London, but it's similar anyway.
Well, you're not so likely to get 2 cars past you either side at 80 or 90 mile an hour, though.
Yeah, that's true. Then from Paris it's on to Lyon, and once you get to Lyon you're sort of getting a bit closer then, aren't you?
Well, Lyon, you feel as though you've cracked the back of it, but you've still got 4 hours to go. Yeah,
still 4 hours, and somewhere around about 8 o'clock up a state that night you get down to Cassien, like.
An advantage, obviously, is the fact you've been on motorway all the way.
Well, it is a motorway all the way. You pick, and not when we first went in '85, but now you actually pick up the autoroute in Calais itself and get off it at Les Ardrettes, which 2 miles from the lake, I suppose.
At the most. Cassien itself's a flooded valley, isn't it? So when they come to do it, all they did was chopped off the trees and the bushes, and they didn't worry about taking it down to ground level.
They missed a lot of the trees too, didn't they? Some of them are still in there, like.
That's true enough. Well, the one in the West Arm that we lost such a lot of fish on. I mean, when the water dropped, it was a full tree standing there.
That's right. Yeah, that's right.
What do you reckon the best fish is in here, mate?
I think in this fishery, that's Willard Pool, I think there's probably 5 fish over 20 pounds. The biggest one comes out at between 25 and a bit and 26 and a bit, but of course that's a lot short of what they come at in France, that's for certain.
That's true enough. Why do you reckon they're so much bigger in France?
I think there's 1 or 2 reasons. I think the first one is that it's a lot warmer, so they feed for 365 days of the year. But I don't know if that's the sole reason, because Lake Cassien, where we fish, they're a little bit bigger there than anywhere else in France, or they have been up.
Yeah. Certainly ain't found anywhere else similar yet.
No, so I think the one reason is because it's the climate's a lot warmer and they feed a lot more. But I also think there's less fish per acre as well, which gives them, the waters are much bigger and it gives them a chance to grow that much bigger. I mean, this is a small water, it's little more than 4 acres, and it's probably got almost as many carp in it as Cassien's got in it, and Cassien's got 32 miles of bank space, so I think that's what sums up the difference basically between the two. It's size of water and amount of food that's available. Yeah, it's this one. Yep, it's on.
God, love it up. You jammy swine.
Yeah. Yeah, it's on. Pull him a bit now. There he comes. There he comes. Got him first time. Oh yeah, looks like it's just about a double. Yeah,
that's not bad.
Not bad at all. Nice clean fish.
Alright, just got a line across the top, hasn't it?
Yeah. Well, look, by the look of it.
Yeah.
There we are.
What's your guess then?
Well, £10 probably, 10 or 11 pounds, yeah?
Yeah, wouldn't argue with that. Get the scales. £11.14.
Right. Almost a leather. Just the scales there that stop it from being a leather.
Yeah.
Very pretty fish. I think most of the fish in here are that sort of size and that sort of quality. Very nice. There he goes.
Yeah, not bad at all, mate.
Down to the depths of willow.
Well, you caught that one on a Tutti Frutti, Joe, and I see you've got a fair selection there, so let's see you run through that lot.
Yeah. 2 Tutti Fruities and a third one, which is a floating bait. Same flavour, but it's been baked in a microwave to make it so it's buoyant, and you put the 3 on the hair like so, and the floating one holds the other 2 up to make it buoyant, so when the carp sucks, it easily sucks into its mouth.
Neutral buoyancy, more or less, like.
Yeah. There's several varieties and types of bait that we use at Cassien, as you know. This is a boiler that we made ourselves. We found problems in the last few years with boilers that we've made ourselves, in as much as that we wanted something to last for 8, 9 or 10 days out of a freezer, and the ones that we make ourselves are not sort of labelled shelf life, so we had to go to other baits which are called shelf life baits, and by shelf life baits they've got preservatives in them that make them last as long as we want them to, really. Different types of shelf life bait, different varieties of them. We've used them all, we've caught on all of them. Tutti Frutti seems to be a good one, but we've used other ones. Bird food baits, that's a shelf life. That's a shelf life bird food with a preservative in. That's a bird food. That's a fresh one that we've made ourselves. Caught on them.
There, Tropicano.
Yeah, Tropicano's a good one. Chocolate malt's a good. In fact, they're all good ones.
Yeah.
It doesn't seem to matter whose ones you use.
Fish over there, they haven't seen these baits, have they?
By making your own, any mix will do. That's a fish mix. By fish mix, it means that it's a mixture of fish meals and milk proteins. You just mix them up. 10 ounces of that with 3 eggs. Add a colour to it. Add a flavour to it. Strawberry cream or Tutti Frutti or any of the flavours. Not too much, about 3 mils of flavour to the pound, and that's all you need to make the boilies. These ones are a bit special. These are our donkey choker ones which we make, and as we boil them with a little polystyrene ball in the middle, which helps to keep the bait up.
I see a bit in the papers about that, a bit controversial, isn't it, with the polystyrene? What's your thoughts on that?
Well, my thoughts on it are that very rarely, if ever, does the carp take the bait. The fact that the bait is on the hair and he tries to eject it, throw the bait out of his mouth when he feels something's wrong, that the bait is always hanging outside the mouth when you land
into the fish at all.
He's not actually eaten the bait at all. He's tried to eat it, but the fact that it was on a hook, he couldn't.
Yeah.
He felt that so there was something wrong. He spat the bait out. He hooked himself, and when as you know, when you net the fish, almost always the bait is hanging outside.
Always hanging outside its mouth or thereabouts.
It's only done on the hook bait.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you remember the trips? Spring '86, I think it was.
Yeah, I remember it well, Phil.
Yeah. What a catch.
Yeah. And that was the biggest of 3 fish this morning, Phil, wasn't it?
Yeah, started off on a 15-pound common, and you took the 28 yourself, and then this one.
And that's how big?
Tremendous. That's 48.
Yeah, looks it and all.
Hit it on the, had a run, hit it, you think it's jammed. And then you start really putting some power on. Starts moving round, went round to the right, went into a weed bed. So had to go into the boat. Started going out over it on the boat, and it come back up. And then it played for another 10-15 minutes. Very powerful. Obviously a good fish, but we weren't quite sure how good. And it comes to the top and you can see. Third 40 this week, and the 16th over 20. Making it one hell of a week for us.
And what bait did you catch that on?
Tutti Frutti. That's about, stringer was a bit long, so he stuck 4 Tutti Fruttis on a stringer, or the hair rather.
Yeah.
Obviously a female, We think, where we've been getting males all the time, we think the wind has blown the females out of the weeds. You know, they won't stay in there with the weeds slapping them. But very pleased. A personal best for myself.
It's an absolute corker. See, it's quite heavy with spawn.
Yeah.
And what we're on May the 28th, 29th, May the 30th. Yeah.
Yesterday was my birthday.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah. And this morning you can't find your pension book.
That's a nice present.
Yeah. Superb. Got a few little warts here. Your side. Just turn it round. It's easier to do it that way.
What breaking strain line was that one on then, Phil?
15.
15, yeah.
And let me tell you, you cannot do some bloody pulling with 15-pound line. That is nice. Yeah. We were very fortunate, you know, the average size of the fish has been big. You know, with
20 fish for about the 27.5 average, Phil, wasn't it?
that was it, yeah. 552 pounds. And that's counting 6 smallish fish.
Blair.
Yeah, sorry.
Takes some weight off my arms.
Expect you're going to give us a last little look, are you?
Oh, I'm getting a breath. I don't know about her. Keep telling you, I don't lift this bloody weight all along now. I'll push a pencil around a piece of paper. Obviously ready to go.
It is very shallow water, Phil, and the reflection is there. I'm seeing it with the video, no trouble at all.
Yeah.
That's not great.
I just finished. You get one on that, just lifting it out.
Right.
So
Just
it's
hold
ready.
this up.
Yeah.
Right.
And again.
Right.
Oh, that did that before. Never mind, we'll let it go now.
I got more.
Don't worry about it.
Got one more. Phil, let me just focus before you lift it in. Alright.
Right, she can go now. Great deal of pleasure. Up you go. The surprising thing on that trip, I think, was the amount of bait we used.
Yeah, we didn't half, didn't we?
Looking back on it, you know, it seems incredible that we could use that much and still catch fish without overfeeding them.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. 60,000 tutti fruities, didn't we?
Yeah.
Richworth tutti
Looking
fruities.
back, it seems incredible now.
It does, and 200 pounds of peanuts, didn't we?
Yeah.
We took as well. And I remember that first night there, we sat there waiting and thinking it's not going to happen, and then the carp started jumping, and that particular night we put in 2,000 baits and a couple of buckets of peanuts, and we decided that after that night's sport, 2 or 3 fish, we'd step the baiting up to something like 5,000.
Yeah.
5,000 baits just before it got dark, and 2 buckets of peanuts, and another 2,000 baits.
Yeah.
After dark,
That was it.
just to keep the swim going. And it was a successful trip, wasn't it?
Oh, well, that night there were 17 runs.
Yeah, that night after we'd used 7,000 baits and 2 buckets of peanuts, full buckets of peanuts, as you say, we had 17 runs, didn't we?
Yeah.
Including yourself losing quite a big fish.
We ought to be telling all about this night bit because, you know, it's totally illegal, and we've been fortunate, you know, we've not had too much hassle with it, like, but some of the lads down there, you know, they don't have to get caught.
Well, it is illegal, and you can get round it just a little bit by being a bit discreet. No bivvies, no camps, etc.
Yeah.
But it is, I suppose, it is worth mentioning. It is illegal.
well, if you get caught, and I mean the guards down there, they're not like our bailiffs here. You know, they're armed. You know, some of them are quite nasty. You know, and if you get caught, that's your tackle gone.
On the few fisheries in England where night fishing is not allowed, it's just a fishery rule, but the no night fishing is a law, isn't it? And not
Over
a
there,
rule. It is
that's the difference.
It is actually French law.
Yeah. Well, of course, I mean, the obvious point is, like, you know, although we have done night fishing, probably the bigger majority of our fish have been caught in the day.
The best catch we ever made was in the day, if you remember, in September '86, 70 odd runs. Everyone in the day. We never fished at night, did we?
Yeah, we were catching that well in the daytime. We didn't
There
didn't
was
even worry.
No need to risk it, was there?
Yeah. The one problem you've got with Cassien, you know, without a doubt, is snags. You know, I mean, we beat it to a degree now with the boat. You know, if you once you get a run like, you know, grab the rod, jump in a boat, and row like hell after
Well,
it.
I think mentioning the boat, when you spend the money that you do spend to get there, I think you're wasting your money if you don't have a boat.
Well, when we first met Mike Atmere, you know, I mean, we'd spoken to him about a boat, hadn't we? And he'd rued the day because he'd hooked a fish that had just run full length and broke him at maximum distance because he hadn't got a boat to follow it.
Yeah, and when the fish are running away from you from the bank, I mean, they're just dragging the line down through the snags, and the snags can be anything to rocks 3 or 4 feet off the bottom, or just tree stumps.
Yeah.
It's a necessary thing at Cassien, a boat, because once you've got a run, you can get above the fish, and then your line's coming straight up, isn't it? You're not dragging it through the snags, even though it's quite an expensive item. There's, what, 3 places on the lake where you can get a boat?
Yeah, the cafes.
All of the cafes.
About £100?
Yeah,
80, £100
it is 80 to £100, and they're likely to want to keep your passport while you've got the boat as well.
But you've got to have it.
Yeah.
Because without it, you know, potentially you're going to land all your easy fish, you know, the 20s, 30s, maybe even the 40s. But, you know, you've got a good chance of losing the big fish. If you did hook a 70 that was going to go away, you ain't going to stop it. Been a fairly hectic morning. We've had runs, you know, one after another, and just hoping, above hope, that we can get another one. Started off Saturday with a 44. This bay appears to be full of little fish. You know, we've had a couple of good ones. Oh, hang on. Got it. This is magic. The snags out there, we're taking to the boat straight away. It's proven to be the best way, without doubt.
You know, they're getting heavier and heavier.
It makes you wonder, doesn't
it? As it goes on. We said 20 and then we broke that.
Yeah, I think we've got to give it another 24 hours, Joe.
Oh, no, I don't know about that. No, I think we'll...
After another quite good fight, there's another Cassien fish ready for the scales. Phil's just took this one after about 10 or 15 minutes. Well, that was a good fight. It wasn't an extremely long one. He's even tipping the water out. You don't want that little bit of extra weight, look.
Yeah. 30.
Move your head.
Yeah. Look at that colour. Yeah. You could see that in the water as it was going round.
Oh, he's a good shape.
Yeah, it's got a much fatter belly on it, this one.
His fin's going to lift. Look.
Well, we're just about to vacate this swim. And
there is some question of that.
It's done 3 20s and a 30
this
in
morning.
the last 4 fish.
Yeah, Phil.
26, 27, 28. And
32.
32. Incredible.
Yeah, he's okay. Do you want to set mine?
No, get rid of this.
This one's 24. That's why Glenn always...
You can see where the weight is though, can't you?
Oh, yeah, yeah. It's a nice fish, mate.
Sorry, it's dripping on you.
Seems to me that it's only Phil Smith that catches the big ones.
Just come on to the point, like, you know, that you do need to take a lot of tackle.
Yeah.
The amount of tackle we've took there and used.
Yeah, in some of the swims, if you're there for 8 or 10 days and do a bit of intensive fishing, if you don't take 100 leads and everything else that goes with it, that's worth You know, you
I
take
remember
100
one
leads.
trip searching for swivels because we virtually run out of swivels.
Yeah, we took 100 leads, didn't we? But we never took 100 swivels, and
That's it.
the bits that go with it.
Well, I should imagine this is fairly representative of what we use nowadays, and not too much different to what we used in '85. You've got an anti-tangle tube, which is, it's got two functions. One, as it says, it tends to keep the hook link clear. It can't get back up onto the line. Two, when you're actually playing a fish, if you've got gravel bars or anything like that, the fish tends to keep low down, and this will avoid abrasion on the most dangerous part of the line, right at the bottom. We keep a little backstop at the back there, and effectively when the fish initially takes the bait, it's got that movement that it can run. It then jams against that, which acts in today's terms a frightener, you know, and then it becomes a bolt rig. Whatever size Arsley bomb you're using, or ledger, standard snap link. From there you go onto the swivel, and the actual hook link itself is protected with a little bit of nylon. For this lake we're using 15-pound Criston, although at Cassien we have been using 25-pound silkworm. The extra strength with still a lot of suppleness to it. This end, size 8 hooks. Initially we were using 4s and 2s, but we found we were actually losing far more fish than we would have liked to, and the small hooks have got a better holding power. They still hold the fish even though they're big. We tie a standard hide knot, you know, whatever suits your fancy, and leave the tail going free up through the tube, and then you can tie a knot on the end, you know, to give you a loop. Putting the boilers on, put the floater on first, then a standard boil. The needle's got a slight snag on it, so then you can slide the boilie down, slide the second one down, unhook that, and using a very small little stop through the hair, and just pull it up. Now because this one's buoyant, it will actually hold that way in the water, and it's neutralised the buoyancy, you know, so that when the carp comes along, sucks the bait up, this shoots up, you know, relevant to the other baits that will be around it. The carp will immediately realise it was wrong, try and spit it back out again, and hopefully the hook will catch it, you know, and from there you've now got your carp almost hooked. All you need to do is just lift the rod up and pull to tighten. One hook carp.
And this is one of the ones we've been after. This one, as you can see, quite a plump, fairly full of spawn, I'd say. Mirror. And as you can see, it's still a bit active. It's been in the sack about an hour or so, well, we were just waiting for enough sun to photograph it. But this one, I can get hold of it. Superb looking fish. Mind you, I don't know, they're all superb looking fish. I can get them up for you to have a look. Well, a better proportion fish I've caught from here, that's for certain. And it was 31 pounds.
That's superb, mate.
You know, it's a nice way to start. I'm going to have to change my mind about this being full of spawn. It's losing milk like the crackers. Thought it was a female, but obviously not. Right, I think this, just going to say little girl's ready to go, Phil, but keep calling her a girl. In fact, it's a very plump 31 pounds Cassien mirror. And we're just about to slip her back from whence he come. There, our first fish, lost a couple, and the first fish of our 1987 May trip.
I thought it was 1986 myself, but still.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, all right then. That was a tester accident, for just trying you out.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Near enough, mate.
One male,
Superb.
ready to go, all ready to go, so
Off she goes.
off he goes again.
Or off he goes.
Calling her she, but oh, what a beautiful looking fish, Phil. Look at the back on that. Remember that night, Phil, when we put all that bait in and we had them 17 runs, and you said to me, I think opposite they've had a very big fish, and I hadn't heard anything in the night at all, and you said first thing in the morning, he said, I think I'll go over and see what they caught. You know, because you mentioned a figure, you thought you'd heard them whisper £60. And
Yeah.
remember the story you come back and told me?
You know, it's the dread, isn't it? You know, somebody landed a big fish on your rod. You know, we do it by agreement.
Yeah.
You know, we share the runs, and we're quite happy if the other person gets a big fish. Of course, over the time it's come out even. But you'd got Roger and Blair on the opposite bank, who didn't know each other at all, and they were fishing next to each other purely because they were restricted by the end of the fishery with the
That's
notice
right,
board.
yeah.
And Roger actually said, like, you know, well, I don't mind being here. Blair was there first with his girlfriend. Blair had said to his girlfriend, well, the next fish is yours. The next run we have, you can have it. So, of course, as in line with all anglers, he told blatant lies, and the next thing it moved, he jumps up, grabs a rod, middle of the night.
I think she did try to get it, but
He went
pushed
faster.
her out the way. Didn't he? He went faster, yeah.
Yeah, he went faster, and he hooks into what is obviously a big fish. And playing it, he moves along the bank into what is effectively the restricted area. He's caught it quite fairly in the area we can be, but he's playing it further along the bank to get away from the other rods. And of course, they all move along with him. During the course of process of playing that, like, you've got Roger and his friend who are sharing rods as well. And one of the rods go off, you hear the optonic sound, so Roger's friend runs up, shouts back, it's yours. Blair, you know, obviously thinks it's Roger's rod. Roger runs up, strikes into a fish. So we're all stood watching Blair play a fish. And eventually he gets it out, and a very nice fish, 34 pounds, 34.5 pound. Blair, over the moon. In the meantime, Roger shouts down, like, you know, can somebody come and net this thing, like it's ready? So off we go, you know. Walks out, puts a net under the fish, goes to lift it, wouldn't come up. Obviously snagged on the bottom. A little bit later on they realise, well, it's not snagged, it's just damn big. And they finally drag it out. And it is not just big, it is enormous. It's 64 pounds.
Yeah, the biggest,
Yeah, I mean, it's the
one we
biggest
ever
we've
saw.
seen anyway. And of course, then you start getting the story what's actually happened. It's on Roger's rod. Blair's rod,
Blair's
rather.
rod, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Blair's rod, yeah.
And Blair is, to say the least, upset. His first comment is, it's my fish. You know, because he cast the rod out. You know, and we sort of discussed the pros and cons of that and come to the conclusion that effectively irrelevant to who cast it, you know, it's who plays, strikes and plays and lands the fish. So we thought it was Roger's. But then we go on to the photographic session with it. And, you know, fair enough, Roger's a fairly big bloke, but Blair was comparatively small. And to see him trying to lift 64 pound of fish was something else.
Well, he didn't manage to, did he?
Unfortunately, I turned the video off, like, you know, so I actually missed him as he lifts the fish up, you know, and gets it onto his chest and just collapsed,
Took
you know,
over,
nice and
yeah.
slowly backwards into the water. Yeah, but a superb example of what can go wrong if you leave a rod.
Well, if he hadn't been greedy in the first place and
It would have been
had
his.
have carried out his plan
Yeah.
and let his young lady have the first one, he would have had the big one,
He'd have
wouldn't
had the big one, yeah. Perhaps poetic justice.
he? Yeah, probably.
But I hope you never do it to me.
There'll be another action there.
Right, we've got a rather unusual capture here. The lad farthest from us, Blair. Now these rods out, Roger's sitting next to him. They've met just coming down to Cassien. And Roger had a run, went on to land a 34 pounder.
Blair, sorry.
Blair rather. While he was doing that, his other rod went. So Roger struck it and continued to play out this fish here, which we know is over 60. We're just going to confirm it, exactly 60 what. Yeah.
Don't forget the focus. Is it a wee sling? Got a good action.
Yeah, one hell of a fish.
What was the fish caught on?
Maybe mix I two poorly. Turn it around. It's a scratch on the side.
Well, there's all fit. £64,
I'll tell you something, when we first
which is big.
back in a bit.
Can you dip it then?
Yeah.
Try and, I know it's difficult, but if you can lift it up the right way up so we can... Can you perhaps move around the other side, Roger, so you... Get your hands around, yeah, that'll do, that'll do, that'll do.
He's got two... That's what happens when you're trying to handle £60 of fish. What do you roll your trousers up for?
The carp strikes back.
That must be good video.
That was brilliant. That was brilliant.
The unfortunate part, I'd actually got the video stopped when he fell.
Roger.
Roger. Okay.
That's Blair and Roger then, let's have a look. Okay.
That'll do, mate.
Blair wants
Oh yeah, of course.
a shot with himself, so...
Just lay down in the water and let him put him on you, Blair.
If it is possible to dip it.
Look at the camera.
Up, look.
No, don't go higher when you do that. You know, go lower. I know it's awkward.
It won't wind because I did wind it. If you push the button, it'll still wind. It's alright. Oh, it must be an extra long pole. Well, yeah, there's right, I'll defeat that back.
Yeah, the top needs to be over a bit if you can.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was it then, yeah.
Look at the camera.
Do that again, that's better. That's better. Right, try again then, Blair. Very difficult.
£60 is a lot. Yeah, just slide him back in. The French bloke was amazed when you put it back.
Yeah, he was, wasn't he? Absolutely amazed. It's well, we've seen attitudes change a lot, haven't we, in the 5 years we've been going down there? An awful lot.
Yeah, I mean, to start with, it was unusual for a Frenchman to put a fish back. You know, now it's more the norm. Those that fish for them.
Yeah, the carp fishermen.
Yeah.
I mean, when we first went there, we befriended a guy, didn't we? And he was killing his fish and taking them home, but he's instigated a club now, a French club, which has put carp back alive, hasn't he?
Oh, and very successful bloke and all.
I think he took our idea of using a boat too, didn't he, for protecting the fish on the gravel?
Yeah. Well, one of the disadvantages you've got with fish of that size, I mean, they're so damn heavy. You know, and when they jump, you drop them on the floor just a sheer weight. You know, they're going to damage them.
Yeah, that's where the use of the dinghy comes in handy, doesn't it? An upturned dinghy with a drop of water in it.
Yeah. A lot of times we've had the dinghies with us, so it comes in handy then.
Yeah. Or Failing that, you can use a carp unhooking mat. It's handy down there, isn't it?
That's
for
true
certain.
enough. I mean, I don't know where they brought those ideas in. They certainly didn't exist then, but they
No,
do now.
no, but they're useful to have with you anyway, aren't they?
Yeah. Well, we were catching the fish, like, you know, it's one advantage we've got nowadays compared with the old keep nets, which absolutely devastated, is the, obviously the nets and the sacks.
Yeah, well, that's something else. The sacks, I mean, we've only been using them 4 or 5 years, haven't we? Now,
Yeah.
they're much better on the carp, I think, than a keep net, and they're not like what a lot of people think, a black plastic bag, are they?
Oh no, I mean they're specially made.
They've got a loose weave nylon which leaves a flow of water through them,
Yeah.
and they've also got perforated holes in them, haven't they?
Yeah, you don't get the red fish that we've seen from the keep nets as well.
No damage on the fins either.
Yeah.
Worth mentioning though at Casino, I think it's very unwise to put more than one carp in one sack, even if it's a big sack, isn't it?
Well, you spoke about the high temperatures there, Chrissy, of the oxygen level, didn't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, we saw one disaster down there where a couple of fish got killed, literally keeping them in one sack.
So it's one sack, one fish, really.
What we've got here is my 2 larger fish.
What do you catch these on then, Phil?
Well, basically we come with Richworth. We're fishing with Richworth. These are on red salmon.
Did you use any of the buoyant red salmon that you made up, or?
We did.
Yeah.
Good point. Yeah, what I was doing is on the one balancing it and putting a stop on to set it about 3 inches off the bottom. The other one just straight on the bottom. We're having some trouble with the dorsals getting caught up. Well, very pleasing. The third Cassien 40. I must admit, when we came and found out how badly the place was fishing, we thought we was onto a blank this time.
But
As always,
in the 2 mornings, that's I think 6 fish over 20, isn't it, Phil?
6 fish over 20. Yeah, we had Joe's had another one. Yourself, 31.
Most of the fish have all been males too, haven't they?
Yeah. We actually listened to them spawning in the reeds.
This morning early.
On the far side. That is superb.
Being as dominant as ever with his instructions.
Right, that's it. The other way, lady.
No, he's going the right way for my baits. That's all right.
Lovely. That's a happy man. We don't always take the ladies with us, like sometimes they're already there. I mean, one of the advantages of Cassien, like, is, I mean, they're scattered everywhere. The 2 on the video, I mean, they're brilliant, aren't they? We actually nicknamed them Half Pint.
And full point.
No, 2 litres.
2 litres.
And what a pair of 2 litres. We ought to mention the Echo Sounder. It's a well-known name in angling equipment, but not very much used in the freshwater world up until recently. For water like Cassien, we would now class it as absolutely essential. You're going over, say, the North Arm, and generally speaking, you haven't got any idea whatsoever what's under you. It could be 50 foot, 5 foot, 150 foot. With the Echo Sounder, as you roam round, you've got a transducer over the side of the boat, which is sending the signal down to the bottom, bouncing back, and effectively you get a map of the bottom drawn on the screen, so you know exactly what you've got there. A lot of our fishing is done by the use of what's called feature fishing, and what you're looking for is a dramatic change of depth, perhaps a shelf coming up from 50 foot to 30 foot, and you're going to fish on that shelf, you know, up towards the top end of the ridge. The echo sounders make that so easy compared with trying to do it any other way. It's just, as I say, an essential piece of equipment.
Well, this is the Cobra throwing stick. What we're putting the baits just out there like that. It's just a gentle flick that will get the bait much farther than if you actually put a bait in and just flick it to the water. That's all that happens. If you try too hard, it just hits the water in front of you. It's actually designed so the boilie actually rolls down inside, and then when you flick it out, it just comes rolling up and out the top like that, but at a much faster speed, which enables it to get out there. It's so designed that the bait actually rolls up, gets faster and faster, and then actually flies, and it's aerodynamic. It flies off from there. Much better than a catapult. You don't have to keep putting elastics in these. They're made of metal, actually made of metal, so they'll last you forever as long as they don't fly out your hand. These Cobras are not easy to use if you've never used one before. But once you get used to them, they're so easy to put baits over a very long distance. Certainly 100 yards or so. Do you feel any size, mate?
He's running into the bank at the moment. God blimey, look at that. Similar to that one of yours, I think.
Yeah.
Come on, you little devil.
They seem to do more pulling just under the rod top, don't they?
I don't know.
That's got him.
That's a nice looking fish, mate.
Yeah, very nice.
Wow.
Oh, look at the scale pattern on that.
Not quite as big as yours, I don't think.
Steady on, girl. Steady on. Nice hook hold again with those small hooks just in the top lip. Too good, I think.
Did I have you? Got the forceps there.
Yeah, could do with the forceps, I think. Pretty scaled mirror, that one. Very pretty.
Put them in there.
There we are.
Where are we? Oh, it's not far off yours, mate. £11.
2 11-pounders, that's not bad for a day, is it?
Oh, too true. But we ain't finished yet. Right, let's just get him back in.
Pretty fish, Phil.
Oh, Whoa, you little devil. Right, I think we've looked at most things now. Let's look at the rods. Over the years that we've been going to Cassien, we've used quite a number of different rods. And recently, through the tie-up I've had with Bob Church, I've had the opportunity to get a rod made to my own design. This is it. It's using the latest carbon, IM6, virtually indestructible. Jump on it, don't try jumping too heavily. But you've got the IM6 basic rod, and then you can see the wrap that's IM6 as well. Fuji SIC rings, very latest in technology. 2¼ pound test, 12 foot. And what I actually was trying to get was the best of both worlds, a rod that could cast a good distance, but still be able to play a fish, you know, close in and give it a feel that it's still there. You know, it's, in my opinion, like, you know, it's one of the better rods on the market, but obviously I'm biased. It was done to my design. If we try a cast now, and you get some idea of what we can do. A lot of the fishing that's done nowadays is done at range. You know, although, having said that, a great many times it's right under your feet that you want to be. If you go any further, you hit the other bank.
Yeah.
And there's no carp on the other bank.
Well, that must be all of 100 yards, Phil.
I would have thought so. We've been looking at the carp rod that I've designed along with Bob Church. Just a quick word about this rod, because as most of you will probably know, I'm not solely a carp fisherman. In fact, I'm a carp fisherman by remote control in France. In England, I prefer the bream, barbel, tench and such like fish. In line with that, you know, we have designed this rod, which is going out into the market as a multi-specimen rod. I feel it can handle any of those fish with equal calibre. Carbon, 11 foot, standard rings, you know, and obviously a price to suit the majority of pockets. Well, I think today's been a good day for us at Lynch Hill. A couple of fish, chance to reminisce over some of the Cassien fish, you know, and some of the exploits we've done over there. I hope you've enjoyed the video, and look forward to our next meeting on another video, one would hope. You know, we have spread our wings now, you know, we're moving onto other waters, but perhaps that's another story.
Yeah, another story for another day, but at least today's been enjoyable, hasn't it? Yeah.
Two 11-pounders, you know, different to Cassien where it could be two 70-pounders, but that's why we go.
Yeah, that's what inspires us, and I hope it's inspired you.